Good morning, Periscope. Happy Thursday, almost Friday. How is everyone doing this morning? Good morning, good morning, good morning. Good morning. Thank you guys for joining. You guys are awesome. Good morning, I am Moses, Kelly One Wanda. Good morning, Simon. I'm singing for him, Yellow Rose 210. Good morning, Taylor. How are you guys doing? Good morning, good morning. Good morning, Shanika in. Thank you, Kim, for inviting your followers. It is much appreciated. Good morning, I'm singing for him. Good morning, Angela. Good morning, Papi Chulo. Good morning, God is on my side. Cheryl from California. Thank you guys for sharing and inviting your followers. Good morning, Kizzy Coleman. Special Graves. Good morning, Lofton C75. God's Angel. Good morning, good morning. Well, thank you guys for inviting your followers. Thank you guys for sharing the broadcast. It is appreciated. I think I saw Lainey on here. Good morning, girl. Good morning, 1016418. Good morning, Chevy33. Thank you, Lofton C75, for inviting followers. Good morning, Mikasto. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I was at Fire Conference on Thursday. Didn't get to say hi. Good morning, Lucille. Nicole Star, 711. Thank you for joining. Thank you for joining. Hey, friend. How are you, gorgeous? I hope you're having a great week. I love you. Thank you, thank you. All right, so this morning's scope is going to be pretty quick, but I just wanted to come on here and give you guys some encouragement on this Thursday. I know yesterday we talked about, a little bit about discouragement and how that can begin to, overwhelm you. So this morning I wanted to further encourage you guys not to quit and not to give up. So I know a lot of us, may be really facing some fear or facing some discouragement, facing some worry or anxiety in regards to what God has called us to do, in this season and at the beginning of 2016. So what I want to do is I want to give you guys a little advice from Nike. So I definitely think, just to preface this, I definitely think that it's so important to always count the cost of what God has told you to do. I think that it's always important to seek wisdom. I think it's always important to seek advice. I think it's always important to pray and really ask God for wisdom and revelation pertaining his plans to your life and what he wants you to do. But here's the thing. I think so many of us spend ample amount of time asking God what he wants us to do. We spend a lot of time even knowing what it is that he's called us to do, but we just don't do it. So a little advice from Nike this morning for all of my friends is this: just do it. I mean, there's going to come a point where God's given you the plan, God's given you revelation, God's given you the resources, God's given you the people, God's opened the doors and the opportunities, but God can only open so many doors if we refuse to continue to walk through them. So at some point we have got to decide that when opportunity arises, that when an open door presents itself, that we're not going to pull back in fear, that we're not going to pull back in anxiety or in worry, but that we are just going to do it. I think sometimes what keeps us from, as Nike would tell us, to just do it would be, we have a lot of anxiety, we have a lot of worry, a lot of fear. A lot of us want to know exactly how it's going to work out. We want to be able to see the whole picture, but there are going to be times when God tells you to step out on the water. There's going to be times when God tells you to step forward or to move forward in something he's called you to do, and you're not going to be able to see the whole picture. You're not going to be able to understand the whole plan, but he's going to give you a little bit and say, take this step. The Bible tells us that it is God who guides man's steps. Now, when he says he guides our steps, that literally means step by step. So even if God has only given you one step today, or one step this month, or one step this year, my challenge to you is just do it. Like I said, I think it's important to count the cost. I think it's important to understand the depth and the standard that will be required if we fully walk in what he's called us to do. But at some point we have got to quit going back and forth. We've got to give up on fear and quit sitting around and basically forfeiting and throwing our hands in in the air because we won't simply step out. So my encouragement to you guys this morning is simple, but I think it is so needed. And my encouragement to you is, if God has told you to do something, if he has given you a plan, revelation, wisdom, if you have prayed about this, then it is time. Just do it. You know, some people are waiting for lightning to fall from the sky. Some people are waiting for 10 people to come up to them and magically confirm what God has called them to do. But at the end of the day, we have got to step out on faith. And you know, if you refuse to just do what God has called you to do, if you launch back, you know, and hold back in fear, anxiety, timidity, worry, whatever it may be, a lot of times what that says about us is that our faith has not been fully cultivated. Because if we had faith and if we knew the God that we served, we would not be so fearful to just do it. You know, the Bible promises us that all things are possible with God. And I think sometimes when God tells us to do something, we sit there and weigh it. We say, you know, have other people done this before? Have other people been able to be successful? Is there another person I could look at who's already doing this and begin to follow their path, begin to follow the way they've done it? You know, what are my chances of failing? What are other people going to think if I begin to do this or do the thing that God has called me to do? Will I be rejected? Will I be abandoned? Or will I be accepted? You know, I think so many times we lack faith because we are so fearful of what other people will think or what others have deemed impossible. But one mentality and mindset that we have truly got to get rid of is this mindset that we can only do what others tell us we can do, that we can only get as far as our parents or our family or others who have gone before us can. Because God has, you know, ordained us to be record breakers. God has ordained us to do new things. You know, this is a new season and a new thing. And you were born for such a time as this, that you would do a new thing. You know, sometimes what we need is not to repeat the wheel or to remake the wheel, but sometimes what we need is fresh revelation, a new perspective, of a new way of doing things. You know, I'm often vexed and really sad by the fact that the majority of the creativity that is ushered into this world is done so through secular culture, is done so through people who have no relationship with the Creator. Why is it that the majority of creativity that is birthed into the earth is done through people who don't even have a revelation or understanding of the ultimate Creator? So those of us who know and walk in relationship with Jesus and walk in relationship with God, who is the ultimate Creator, who is the King of creativity, you know, who is the one who can put things together. Why is it, you know, that what happens is that we aren't the ones that birth these things into the earth? I think the thing that we have to begin to understand is what holds us back is fear. And we allow the secular world, we allow the natural realm to hold us back and say, you know what, I haven't seen other people do this. I don't know if it's possible, so I'm not going to do it. So what's really sad is that there are people who don't know God, who have more faith to start the business that God told you to start, that have more faith to start, you know, to invent something that God told you to invent a long time ago, that have more faith to be a solution to, you know, the problems of the world, you know, whether that's famine or lack of clean water or orphanages. Why is it that people who have no relationship with God, who aren't, you know, who don't know that all things are possible through Him, are the ones who are birthing and creating things into this world? I mean, it's simply sad. I think that every good idea, that every creative thing that's birthed into this world should ultimately come through someone who has a relationship with the Creator. So I think what this means is that we have really got to stop allowing fear. You know, it's so sad that some of the most fearful people in the world are those who would call themselves saved and are those who would call themselves Christ followers. And that's sad that people, you know, who aren't saved, who don't have a relationship with God, are more willing to step out in faith, you know, and their faith is placed in themselves. Their faith is placed in their own ability to perform. Their faith is placed in others. Their faith is placed in systems. Their faith is placed in schools, and they're able to accomplish at a greater rate and come up with great creative solutions. And I think that's an issue. So, you know, my recommendation to the people of God and to the body of Christ today is this: just do it. You know, stop allowing fear anxiety, worry, the opinions of others to hold you back from what God has called you to do. So if you're waiting for your sign, if you're waiting for lightning, if you're waiting for whatever to happen, stop waiting for that. If God has told you to do something, that's all you need to do it. And yes, I do believe in accountability. I do believe in mentors. I do believe, in having those who mentor you and your spiritual parents agree with what it is that God has called you to do. But sometimes we idolize other people's opinions so much that will keep us from launching out in what God has called us to do. So I think we need to get sick. We should honestly be sick of seeing the world, the secular culture, come up with solutions more quickly, more rapidly, and more successfully for the problems of this world than the body of Christ. Because the only reason we were created was to be a solution. We're not here by accident. We're not here by mistake. God didn't say, oh, you're cute, go ahead down onto earth. He made you a solution. Every person was created to make his kingdom come further on earth as it is in heaven. So how can a kingdom come on earth if we don't first know what it is in heaven, that we can pull ideas, pull creativity from heaven to be birthed into earth? And this is why every creative solution should come from the people of God, because we are the ones that should have a revelation of what the perfect world looks like, the perfect ideal of heaven, so that we can be able to birth heaven unto and into the earth as it is in heaven. So that we've got to get over this whole thing of letting other people in the secular world come up with solutions to the problems that you were created to solve. You were created to solve problems. You were created to be a solution to this generation. So many of us want to look around and say, oh, the end times are coming. The world is so bad. I'm just going to roll back and forth on the floor and pray for God to come more quickly. But that's not why God put you here. He didn't put you on this earth to beg him to come back more quickly because it's in such bad shape. He put you on this earth at such a time as this, when the world is in bad shape, to rise up, know who you're called to be, know what he's called you to do, and to be that solution. So if you're someone like me who is vexed by the issues you see, then rise up and be the solution. One of the things that literally keeps me up at night is the ignorance of this generation. I'm not calling this generation stupid. I'm not calling this generation less than. I'm not saying I'm better than anyone. But the Bible says that my people perish for their lack of understanding. So what ignites a fire within me is I am sick of seeing my generation perish because they are ignorant of the things and ways of God, because they are ignorant of what is holding them back, because they are ignorant of what is keeping them from being whole, because they are ignorant of seeing that this sin that they think will bring them happiness, that will bring them fame, that will bring them contentment, is ultimately leading them to destruction. So I know that my purpose, yes, I'm vexed by the ignorance of our generation, but that's why God has anointed me and created me as a person of wisdom to go forth and speak and preach wisdom into the earth, that this generation would stop perishing because they lack the information they need to be free and to be whole. So what I'm challenging you guys today with is, what is it that vexes you? What problem around you bothers you the most? Because whatever problem is around you that bothers you the most, I guarantee you are most likely created to be a solution to that very problem. So we've got to stop sitting back in fear and in worry and in anxiety and saying, okay, well, one day I'll do something, or maybe leave it to the celebrities of this world to fix the problem with famine, to fix the problem with homelessness, to fix the problems of the economy. Stop looking at the president to fix all these problems, and we need to arise as solutions to whom God has given all creativity to and all understanding to, and begin to fix these things. So that's my challenge to you guys today, is just do it. Why were you created? Why are you here? What has God called you to do, and what has he told you to do? And stop allowing fear and worry and the opinions of others to keep you from doing exactly what it is that God has called you to do. So my encouragement to you guys today on this Thursday is simple advice from Nike. Just do it. So I hope you guys have been blessed. I pray that the spirit of fear and, intimidation and timidity has been broken off of you, and that you will stop sitting around in laziness looking at others to fix the problems that you were created to fix. We've got to stop blaming the president, stop blaming the celebrity world, stop blaming leaders for the problems of this world, and understand that God didn't say the president will save this world, that leaders will save this world, that celebrities will save the world, but he sent you into the nations to fix these problems and be a solution. So it's time for us to rise up and be the solution He's called us to be. So that's my encouragement for you guys today. Happy Thursday. I declare and decree that in this season, fear will not be able to hold you back. So let fear go and do whatever it is that God has called you and predestined you to do. So I love you guys, my hashtag Scope family. I look forward to spending my mornings with you guys. And I'm going to head out to work now. So have a great day. I will see you guys tomorrow for tomorrow's Sunrise Scope. I pray that this scope has blessed you and has really given you an impartation of strength and empowerment to do and be exactly what He's called you to do and be. So I love you guys. If you would like to join this community of wisdom, check out my website at wisdomisthenewblack.com. Follow me on Facebook, Instagram, Periscope, and we will continue to walk together in wisdom so that we do not perish for our lack of understanding. So I love you guys. Let's go forth and just do it today. Whatever God's told us to do, let's stop questioning and let's just do it. So have a great day. I love you guys. Thank you so much for joining. My Instagram name is at wisdomisthenewblack. So I will see you guys tomorrow. Have a great day. Bye.